Welcome ladies and gents, I'm the Super Gamer and welcome back to another episode of the Super Gamer Reloaded. This is the show where I take a look at all 40 games for the first 2 seasons of DSG because those reviews suck and they are severely outdated.
Today we'll be looking at an old favorite of mine, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, or if you're lame like me, Punch-Out! Featuring Mr. Dream. My original review for this game was barely even a minute long, though I will give it that it has better lighting than the Zelda 1 review, but it's still crap. So, how did this game hold up today? Let's find out. This is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! This is an NES game, so the story is very simple, just getting that out of the way. You play as a boxer from Bronx known as Little Mac, with his trainer, Doc Lewis. They are competing to be the champions of the World Video Boxing Association. To do that, Little Mac must KO or TKO every boxer he faces. Whether it be Glass Joe or Piston Honda, nobody will stand in his way to victory, and eventually, Mr. Dream himself. For 1987, the graphics are simplistic, but still look really good by NES standards. All the boxers, including Little Mac himself, are all great looking sprites. One subtle thing about the sprites is that the opponent's sprites are rather big, and in some cases, really big. It really makes you wonder how Mac could ever win these fights. Also, side note, Mario is the referee in this game. I guess this is what he does when he's not rescuing Princess Peach for the 1 billionth time. The soundtrack, although very minimal, is iconic and something that any Nintendo nerd would recognize if they heard it. Punch-Out! Is a boxing game. Not a realistic one, but still a boxing game. You have the option to hit your opponent in the stomach or in the face, and if you hit them before they can hit you, you'll gain a star punch which you can use to deal a ton of damage. However, that star will go away if you get hit, so be careful. Speaking of not getting hit, you can avoid your opponent's attacks by dodging left, right, or blocking. Now, all of this sounds simple, but the way to win is to identify when it's time to strike, where to dodge, and what punch to use. If you can knock down your opponent 3 times, or knock them down and they don't get up in 10 seconds, you win the match. However, if that happens to you, you will lose. Now, personally, even though this game holds up incredibly well for the NES, I still find myself wanting to go back to play the Wii game a lot more, because everything that's great about the original is improved and refined in that game. Nonetheless, the original is still a fun time, even with Mr. Dream, who's basically impossible to beat. Overall, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Is a classic game for the NES, and although I like the Wii version more, this one is still just as fun as it was back then. I know this re-review is short, but that's just because this game isn't all that complicated. Regardless, I'm going to give this game a 5 out of 5.
Until then, I'm the Super Gamer and I will see you all next time. Bye bye!